Word on the street is that Biggie's mother, Voletta Wallace, is appalled by what she saw in that hotel footage of Diddy and Cassie. But that's not all. Apparently, the incident has also made her question other things Diddy may have gotten away with, including the death of her son, Biggie.
Christopher was not only a musician, an artist. Christopher was a son, was a grandson, was a nephew. He was a good friend, and people need to see that part of him that nobody else knew.
And by the way, we are not just talking about Diddy being involved with Biggie's death. His name is back in from the lawsuits filed against Diddy is that,
and it's crazy with that Tupac situation, because there's been a lot of accounts saying that he had something to do with it. He's the one who actually put the money on Tupac head. He didn't. They didn't end up following up and doing it because of Diddy, but he's the initial one that put the money on Tupac's head. So yeah, Diddy, he wrapped up in a lot of stuff, and you know, I've been keeping y'all up to date with Diddy news, just on the simple fact that he's a sex trafficker, and I just don't respect that. So keep my foot on his neck.
Likes to brag about the things he's gotten away with, and if not something else, his own words may be the ones that get him in the most trouble.
He said, "I'm a businessman. I'm about making money. But something gotta change. I don't give a if Pac gotta die, Big gotta die, or Suge Knight go to jail."
Okay, so Biggie's mom, Voletta, already revealed that she was not happy with how Biggie was being used when he signed to Diddy's label. She even wrote about it in her 2005 book, Biggie, Voletta Wallace Remembers Her Son Christopher. And based on what she wrote, she clearly did not trust that Diddy had her son's best interests at heart. She wrote, "The truth is, Christopher accepted the illusion of a friend and mentor for about $25,000. That's the amount Puffy lured my son with. That was a lot of money for Christopher back then as a 19-year-old. He had never seen that much money at one time in his life. It was enough money to make my son believe that Puffy was ready to do anything for him. It was enough to buy blind love and loyalty." Unfortunately, signing with Diddy is also what led to Biggie's death. And people have believed for decades that Diddy was involved. And when I say people, I'm including Biggie's family. Get this, Voletta has previously said that she and LAPD detectives who investigated the case know who is responsible for her son's death, but a conspiracy prevents the case from ever being solved. She said she knows that the LAPD conducted their investigation and found out what happened, but they just refused to move forward. And she doesn't know why, to date, that they haven't arrested who was involved. According to Voletta, she said it seemed to her that it was one giant conspiracy and someone was definitely being protected somewhere down the line. Tell me you don't see how Voletta's words have Diddy written all over them. In fact, when she was talking about agreeing to be part of the project City of Lies, which centers around the corruption involved in suppressing the investigation, Voletta actually opened up about the corruption involved and said, "I have strong hope that I don't care that it takes 40 years for the truth, just for somebody to be accountable for what they did. Those in high positions try to put the case on the shelf and not let the truth come out. They do not want to expose these police officers for the crooks they are. You know, all they wanted to do was save their retirement. They didn't want to ruffle their feathers. They didn't want people from the East Coast to come over. They did everything they could under the real investigation to put it on the shelf." Now, allegedly, Biggie's mother believes that Diddy may have been involved in the death of her son, and it has everything to do with money. First of all, remember when Diddy started giving publishing rights back to his former artists, including Biggie? Well, there were reports that those publishing rights are worth nothing, and Diddy was giving them back after milking all that he could from his former artists. As we all know, Diddy made even more money from Biggie after he died than he did when he was alive. But the publishing rights he was talking about that he gave back to the family were apparently worth nothing. nothing. And Miss Voletta was not happy. She allegedly made it clear that the move by Diddy would not make him innocent in her eyes, especially after all the stories of how he may have been involved with Biggie's death. And now that she has seen Cassie's tape, she knows exactly what Diddy is capable of. Okay, you guys, when it comes to Diddy's involvement with Biggie's death, there's been a lot that has come up already, like that ex-bodyguard, Uncle Ron, who previously claimed that Diddy offered him money to take out Biggie.
I was offered $30,000 to perform a hit on Biggie Smalls. March 1st of 1997, I was approached by Diddy to perform a hit on one of his artists.
That's crazy.
Finding out that he wanted all the rights to all his catalogs.
Then there's also Gene Deal, who claimed that Biggie planned to leave Bad Boy Records behind for a better deal elsewhere worth more than $60 million.
So he showed me, I said, you about to get that money? He said, yeah, look at this. It had Charlie Baltimore, Cameron, Little C's, Little Kim, Junior Mafia, Tracy, I don't know, Tracy Murray,
Tracy Lee.
Tracy Lee, and the Commission. And I think the contract was for so many years for like 62 million. It comes out to like $62 million.
In fact, Gene Deal also
Sound like Biggie was about to get his distribution deal. And we heard Mace hint at this before. We've heard Gene Deal talk about this before. And one thing about Gene Deal, his story don't never change. He always got the same story. And that's one thing about somebody telling the truth. If they telling the truth, a lot of the times, they'll tell you the same story 50 times and don't a detail change. Don't nothing change. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, it sounds like Biggie was ready to get a distribution deal. And the way that Biggie was positioned back then, he should have got a distribution deal. Distribution deal is basically saying, I got myself and I got several artists, or a lot of times it's you and a bunch of artists or a group. And you say, we'll give you X amount of albums. We this hot and we should be able to move this amount of units. They give you an advance on what you should be able to do. You get what I'm saying? And you then give them the amount of albums. I mean, if you got Lil C's, you got the Locks, you got Young Cameron, he would have moved units. He would have did his thing. He was definitely ready. So a distribution deal is like what Birdman got with dudes like Ludacris and DTP. It's a lot of people that got distribution deals. Like Rick Ross, he had a solo deal, but then he got a distribution deal when he was ready to come out with MMG. You get what I'm saying? That's a good analogy.
confirmed that whatever happened to Biggie was definitely an inside job.
It was somebody in our crew that wanted them to know that Big was in that vehicle.
We've also had a few celebrities hint here and there that Diddy may have been involved with Biggie's death. For instance, Mace released a song titled Oracle 2, Standing on Bodies, talking about how Diddy used the death of Biggie Smalls as a marketing ploy and for not properly compensating Biggie's mother. 50 Cent has also said multiple times that Diddy was involved in the deaths of Biggie and Tupac. For instance, in his song Hip Hop, 50 Cent raps, "Who shot Biggie Smalls? If we don't get him, they're gonna get us all." Man, Puffy knows who hit that man. He's scared them boys from the west side gonna break him off. Speaking of Tupac, there has also been the speculation that Diddy was the one who put a $1 million hit on both Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight, following the highly publicized rap beef involving himself and Biggie. And he hired Crips member Dwayne Keith Davis, aka Keefy D.
And now remember, Gene Dill just said the feds is all up in this joint. Keefy D just got picked up by the feds. And he got picked up for Tupac's murder. Now, before he got picked up for Tupac's murder, he was on Vlad TV. Vlad was heralded as solving the Tupac murder because he got Keefy D to talk about how Puffy put the $1 million hit on him. How his nephew ended up getting beat up by Tupac, and him and his nephew went and unalived Tupac. Then spun the block and hit Puffy up like, yeah, we did that, but he actually did it for a different reason, but inadvertently he still did it and wanted his money. Keefy D ended up getting burnt by one of his friends for the money. One of his friends took the money, opened up the nightclub, and Keefy D never got compensated from Puffy for the hit on Tupac. But he did do it. He did say he did it. He's in the feds right now for doing it. And he said initially Puffy put $1 million hit on Tupac. That's what made everybody stand up and want to go do that for him. So
carry out the hit. But Tupac was allegedly taken out by Crips gang member Orlando Anderson, even though the original hit was supposed to be carried out by Keefy D. The plans were changed at the last minute after they unexpectedly pulled up on the wrong side of Tupac's vehicle. So Keefy D's nephew carried out the hit instead.
He leaned over on the window, we rolled down the window, popped.
Who was it?
They was drove on my side, I would popped them. You know what I'm saying? But they was on the other side.
Right.
The one issue with this case has been that the person who was allegedly given the money to give to Keefy D was Eric Von Zip. And because he never delivered the money and he died, there's nothing substantial linking Diddy to the death of Tupac. But based on what Gene Deal recently revealed, if the feds follow the money keenly, Tupac's death will certainly...
Diddy got 9 lives out this joint, don't he? Like, if you was like a super villain and like you just wanted to do stuff for 30 years straight, like everything worked out for this dude to like, you know, just be like a super villain, bro. Cause Keith Von Zip, he ended up dying. So then you don't got a money trail. What happened to the $1 million that Puffy gave him? It's crazy, man.
Be linked to Diddy. Well, Tupac's brother Mopreme Shakur certainly believes that everyone Keefy D has ever mentioned in relation to Tupac should be held accountable.
He mentions certain people that are, you know, maybe accomplices. And so at this point in the game, somebody's, you know, they're making someone accountable.
And then he was asked specifically about Diddy. And he was like, especially Diddy.
I don't have to do anything. This individual mentioned dude's name. Okay? Law enforcement has a job to do. Will they do it? It does feel like, you know, Pac is being vindicated because, you know, back in them days when things were going down, everybody thought he was crazy. He may not have expressed it properly, but that don't mean he was wrong. You dig?
Right.
So we'll see.
Obviously, the reason why nobody wanted to touch Diddy is because of the power he had. But now that the power is being stripped away, there's more boldness in calling him out for possibly having a hand in both Tupac and Biggie's death. And you know what? Other than putting behind bars the person who was responsible for Biggie's death, Voletta also hopes that those responsible for suppressing the investigation also face the consequences of their actions. She actually said that she agreed to participate in City of Lies, not to honor Biggie's music, but for Russell Poole, who died in the middle of the investigation. And about Russell, she said, I hope and pray that the truth would expose them individually. Russell died exposing them. He was a man of his word. His wife said he died of a broken heart because he didn't see justice. All he saw was corruption or corruption. Pure lies. Everything was hidden. Voletta also told Entertainment Weekly in a different interview, as long as I have life, there's hope. I'll never give up. And I hope when I'm not in this world anymore, my friends and family will carry on this fight. There's always hope. Child, if Diddy actually had anything to do with the unaliving of Tupac and Biggie, nobody is going to protect him now. You know, maybe these families could also finally get closure. And if we are lucky, we could even get some confessionals now that we know Diddy was recording most of the things he did and said. But do you actually see him going down for the unaliving of Biggie and Tupac? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section.
And it's wild. I think these chickens are gonna come to roost eventually. They already are. I think with the Keefy D situation. I don't know. I don't think he's been to trial yet. And I think a lot of stuff is still continue to come out. These are some of our greats, and these are just more careers that Diddy has either ruined or had a hand in unaliving these people. And then a bunch of people around them automatically just end up getting unalived in a weird way. So he really like a booty bandit. He like a gangster booty bandit, man. Like Like I'm just tired of this boy Diddy. Every time I watch It Is What It Is with Mace, I just be like, or every time I see Diddy's son rapping, and he basically taking Mace's whole style, and it just let me know how great Mace was. He got his own style. He's great. It's a lot of people that was underneath that umbrella that was great. You get what I'm saying? And he the only one that got money at the end of it. He the only one that's still alive doing their thing at the end of it, and it should have been a bunch of people. You get what I'm saying? So don't forget to subscribe. Also, we on our way to 1 million subscribers. First we gotta get to 1,000, then we gonna go to 1 million. But I need y'all. I need you personally. I know you probably forgot, but hit that subscribe button. I've been dropping bangers. I've been dropping daily. I'm consistent. I'm definitely gonna be your favorite YouTuber. You just don't know it yet. Alright, it's your boy What's Up G. Love y'all. I'm out. Miss Wallace is not playing with Lil Bro.